Amathole District in the Eastern Cape has seen a wave of protests over the past few weeks, with residents taking to the streets and schools being shut down. Municipal workers went on strike, demanding a 6.5% increase, and community members also took to the streets demanding the provision of water. Now, they claim they've been without water for about 3 years now. MEC Xolile Nqatha, who is the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, joins us now from the Eastern Cape. Thanks so much for your time this morning, MEC.
Thanks, Sakina. Good morning to you and your viewers.
MEC, yesterday the town of Butterworth and some parts of the N2 were actually closed. So how far is the reach and the scale of the disruptions that we've seen in the Amathole District today?
Sakina, the impact of the strike has affected communities, the schools, the clinics, and various sectors of the population in the region. I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the provincial government to express our apologies for the communities to have to go through what they have gone through. It is very unfortunate, and I'm glad that as I speak to you now, the agreement was reached and the strike has been suspended late yesterday. What is unfortunate, though, having made this breakthrough, is that it should take this suffering to communities for the leadership there of the institution and the municipality to reach this settlement. It is indeed very unfortunate. And I wish also to take this opportunity to condemn any acts of criminality that have taken place, including allegations of closing some water for the communities. Such acts are criminal. They cannot be justified under any circumstances. And as COCTA, we have been interacting with the situation for almost in the past 3 weeks now, working together with the leadership of the municipality to ensure that there is settlement. And before the end of the week, I'll be announcing steps that I will be taking to get to the bottom of the challenges facing the institutions. It's quite clear the challenges are deeper, and therefore they would require certain measures to be taken in that regard.
So we'll talk about those challenges in just a moment. But first, the workers were demanding a 6.5% increase with an additional 2.5% notch progression.
Yes.
So you say you have reached a settlement in that regard. So what are the details of it?
The municipality was directly engaged in the negotiations with the workers, and the 6.5 is an outcome of a negotiations agreement taking place at the Bargaining Council as organized by SALGA, a formation of organized local government. And that 6.5 was due to workers in July. Unfortunately, management, leadership of the institution decided not to pay that which is due to workers because the municipality is at a wrong grade. Instead of being at grade 6, it is grade 7, and therefore resulting in high salaries for all the staff, including management. And therefore, management decided, therefore, to apply for exemption so that they don't implement the 6.5. And therefore, before even getting approval for such an exemption from Bargaining Council, they went ahead to implement it, which resulted then to the crisis. And one of the issues we quite affirm as a provincial government, that this crisis is a reflection of the crisis of leadership. And therefore, because it is them, the leadership of the institution, when we interacted with them, they said that they had found in 2017 already that they are in a wrong grade. The question is, what is it that they have done since then up until June, when then they decide that the solution is to get a legal opinion. On the basis of that legal opinion, delay the implementation of the 6.5 due until they downgrade municipal to grade 6. So that's why we think that it was really a very serious weakness of leadership. And there are all sorts of allegations which have been brought to my attention, including allegations of corruption and nepotism. And my team, therefore, has gone there from the department to do that assessment. And based on the report they will give me, I'll then outline the steps we will take so that we can work together in the context of cooperative governance. We work together with them to get deeper into the institutional challenges facing the institutions going forward.
MEC, your words there, a serious indictment on the management in the Amathole District municipality. And I think you correctly outline that they may not have gone about this in the most prudent manner. And if they were then doing what they were doing in order to address this issue of being at the wrong grade as a municipality, what about management themselves? Because the municipal manager, he is earning, we understand, over 2 million rand per annum. And once again, considering the size of this municipality, you know, is that correct? And what should be done about management and their scale?
Whatever direction we take working with them to resolve the challenges facing the institutions, it will have to apply to everybody. However, I wouldn't want to preempt measures to be taken because due processes have got to be followed. Those are some of the critical things as we embark into this project of renewal in our country to ensure accountability, strengthen accountability mechanisms. One of the things for the renewal to succeed is to ensure that due process and rule of law is followed. And therefore, in this regard, as I've said before, that it was not correct for them, having gone through due process of negotiations at a bargaining council, 6.5 is given to workers, and then they embark on another process and then delay the implementation of such. That is in disregard of the rule of law and due processes. And therefore, I am determined and calling upon all political parties, including my organization, that we must ensure that we safeguard the renewal, we safeguard good governance on the basis of rule of law. And we all work together to fight against political interference and to ensure that there is good relationship between the administrative and political leadership. None of those cross their own boundaries. And therefore, that is at the heart of the things that we are committed doing, and that we should be in one to fight against anyone who would then represent a stumbling block to ensure that municipalities and all government departments in the province, they function in a way that helps to meet the needs of the people. Whereas this strike in Amathole has compounded a dire situation already, because Amathole District, given the fact that our country is a water-scarce country, is one of the drought-stricken areas. Hence, even the report you were given as a background, the people are complaining that they have been having challenges of water for the past 3 years. And therefore, this strike has compounded that situation. And we're determined to work together to ensure that services are provided to our people and institutions are able, including this municipality, to function in a way that helps to provide services, to exercise, in fact, its constitutional obligations to deliver services to our people.
But how's the municipality going to do that? Let's talk to the finances of the Amathole District municipality. Is it bankrupt as we speak?
Perhaps I would want to say that those kind of direct questions, because my team is there doing the assessment, I'll be able to give a firm view once they give me a report before the end of the day tomorrow, which report I will use to chart the way forward and make necessary announcements. And but I know that the municipality is struggling financially, hence they have taken this route. And the extent of the challenge, therefore, I would want to await my team to give me that report.
So we'll await that answer most certainly, and perhaps we'll come back to you on it once you have a definitive answer for us. But looking at some of the visuals that our viewers are privy to at the moment, and we see, a municipality in disarray, people taking to the streets, learners taking to the streets, not going to school. I received a message from Charlie, who inboxed me. This was last week already. He says, I'm a resident of Msobomvu in Butterworth in the Eastern Cape. For the past 2 weeks, the municipality workers have been on strike and demanding the issues that we've outlined. And he says this has led to employees closing all water main supplies to the whole of Butterworth, and we are suffering from a lack of water. Please, can you help by finding out more about this problem that we are faced with? So residents in that municipality are desperate for answers with regard to how these issues are going to be resolved. And water, I don't have to tell you, MEC, as per the Bill of Rights, as per the Freedom Charter, you can go on and on. This is a basic human right that is entrenched in our Constitution. So what do you say to the residents who do not at this moment have access to it?
Thanks, Leon. That is why at the beginning of this interview, I'd conveyed, and I wish again to repeat, to convey our apologies to the residents who have been negatively affected this. And I've also, of which again I repeat, condemned any acts that have sought to close the water, to say no demand can justify the denial of these basic rights to our people. That is why then I am determined even on that score to go deeper, because nobody has been arrested. I had spoken to some of the leaders of organized workers, and they have distanced themselves into these actions. And therefore those are some of the issues I am determined to go deeper to understand the reasons of this. Because some of the challenges we're facing in some instances are engineered in some cases by entrepreneurs, because when you have a crisis like this, you open a business opportunity for those who are in security, some of them, for those who have got trucks to deliver water to communities. And therefore we must look at all sides. It might be some workers have engaged in this criminal activity, which I condemned. It cannot be justified. It might be some entrepreneurs involved in the activity using a crisis to make money. That's the extent of the rot of state capture with we are determined to uproot to ensure that institutions are functioning accordingly.
And finally, MEC, whilst I appreciate your answer and how candid you are about those problems, it doesn't answer the residents' question as to when will I have water, which I repeat is a basic human right. So as leadership, how do you respond to your municipal tenants there in terms of when they're going to get water?
Yeah. It is our expectation, as the commitment has been given by the leadership of the municipalities, now that the strike has been suspended, the expectation is that the workers will go to work and water will be provided. And they did, the municipal management, make an announcement last week already that measures have been taken to have trucks to deliver water to communities. After this interview, I will make a follow-up to ensure that this basic human right is not violated further going forward.
Well, thank you so much for your time this morning, Xolile Nqatha, who is the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, discussing the Eastern Cape protest in the Amathole District municipality that led to the closing of services, including clinics and schools in that district. We're going to take a break. After that, Leanne up with some talk around ESCO.